Okay, this review will be on the 2000 National League champion New York Mets. Um, Now, when we get started with the Mets offense here, keep in mind I go by the Strat-O-Matic book, the Diamond Gems book. Where it gives you the most frequently used lineups against lefties and righties. And they have Akbayani and Bell 1 2 in the order, even though I know come the postseason, it was Timo Perez leading off uh, pretty much every day. And I think Alfonso hit second. Um, my memory's a little shaky on that, but I always go by the strat book. So let's get started with Agbayani and Bell. Let's take a look at their on base chance numbers. You can see both of them have pretty nice numbers. Interesting that both of them are right-handed and they actually have better numbers of getting on base versus right-handed pitching. So those numbers are looking pretty good. Number three in the order, let's take a look at Edgardo Alfonso. I'm going to show you all of his numbers, his on base chances, and his hits with multiple base advancement. You see, you get really nice production out of Alfonso at second base. This is a very solid card for him. Now let's take in the numbers that we have for your cleanup hitter, catcher Mike Piazza. This card is just absolutely terrific. Excellent numbers when it comes to getting on base, and you could see he's the obviously the big run producer in the lineup. Just absolutely destroys left-handed pitching, and um, obviously just a great guy to have clean up in your lineup. So you're looking really good with Piazza. Now I'm going to show you the numbers for uh, Todd Zeal and Robin Ventura. Now, um, these two were everyday 5-6 in your lineup according to the strat book. The only difference was versus righties, Ventura would be 5 and Zeal would be 6, and then they would just be flipped when they face left-handed pitching. So we take a look at all of their numbers, and you can see the lineup is extending pretty nicely here. You get some pretty good hits with multiple base advancement out of Ventura and Zeal. So you're looking pretty good there. Um, your number seven hitter in the lineup every day was center fielder Jay Payton. I'm going to show you all of his numbers. Um, and you could see these are very nice numbers when you think about the fact that he was your number seven hitter. This lineup is doing a nice job of extending pretty nicely. Peyton, um, very good numbers with multiple base advancement versus lefties and righties. So that's looking pretty good right there. And the lineup finishes up with the number eight hitter, the everyday shortstop, Mike Bordick. I show you his on base chances right there. So you don't really get much out of him when he faces right-handed pitching, but his numbers against lefties is not that bad. And just for the sake of showing you, I'm going to show you the numbers against right-handed pitching for Timo Perez. You see his card right there. You can see he really doesn't have much of a card. I guess his on base chances against right-handed pitching is okay, um, but really doesn't have much against left-handed pitching. So if you're playing with this team, I would definitely just go with Agbayani in left and Bell in right. If we're to look at the Mets offense, I have them graded out at a very good score of a 4 out of 5. You could see I gave the middle of the order a very good score of a 4.2 out of 5. I like the on-base chance numbers you get at the top of the order and then the way the lineup extends down. So they get a really nice number when it comes to on base chances. Righty lefty mix and depth in the order. This was kind of a tough score for me to land on a little bit because um, you really only have one viable left handed bat in the lineup, and that's Robin Ventura. Um, so I just wish this lineup had another lefty bat in it. However, I do like the fact that your right-handed hitters, guys like Alfonso, Piazza, Zeal, and even Peyton, they have pretty good numbers when it comes to driving runners in versus right-handed pitching. I kind of ran into a similar situation when I did a review on the 2003 Florida Marlins. And if you remember that team, they had no left-handed hitters in the middle of their order. They were totally right-handed. But what drove their score down a little bit was the fact that there was a little bit of a dip in their numbers when you compare them facing lefties versus right-handed pitching. At least with the Mets right-handed hitters, and again, I bring up Alfonso, Piazza, Zeal, and Peyton. You could see they all have pretty consistent numbers, whether they're facing a lefty or a righty. So the righty lefty mix score is still very good. It's a 3.8 out of 5. And overall, I got the Mets offense coming out, like I said, at a very good score of a 4 out of 5. So the 2000 Mets are off to a good start. Let's take a look at the defense. The defense is looking pretty good. You could see in the outfield you have one issue there where you got Agbayani in left, who's a 4, but you're looking very good with Peyton and Bell in center field and right field. You see the up the middle defense. Alfonso is just outstanding at second base. Bordick is a 3, but at least his E rating is very much in line. And overall, I have the Mets E ratings as a whole coming out to a 4.1 out of 5. So the 2000 Mets grade out with a very nice score of a 3.8 out of 5 on defense. So again, everything's looking very nicely for the 2000 Mets. Now let's take a look at the starting rotation. First, I'm going to show you the numbers for your ace, Al Leiter. He's looking really good. And let's take a look at Mike Hampton. Um, Very good card out of Mike Hampton. What I really like about Hampton is he's keeps the ball in the ballpark, which is nice. So now let's take a look at your 3, 4, 5 starters. Let's take a look at Reed, Rush, and Jones. You can see the rotation is looking pretty good as you get down to your 3, 4, 5 starters. What I would actually do with the 2000 Mets rotation, if you're doing like a tournament play or something like that, I would use Glendon Rush as my number 3. I think he's the third best pitcher on the 2000 New York Mets. Reed and Jones, their on base chance numbers are looking pretty good, but both of them have a little too much of an issue when it comes to giving up home runs. So if you're playing in the wrong ballpark, that could definitely be an issue. And speaking of which, just for what it's worth, the ballpark effects home run for Shea Stadium in the year 2000, according to the Strat book, on a D20, it's a home run 1 through 5 for both lefties and righties. So it is a park that favors pitchers pretty well. But again, if you're playing outside of Shea Stadium in a park that's not very favorable to pitchers, those ballpark effect home runs can be a little bit of an issue. Still, overall, I have the 2000 Mets rotation coming out at a very good score of a 4.2 out of 5. Obviously, what drives that score is I love the 1-2 punch of Leiter and Hampton. You're looking really good with those two as your top 2 starters. Um, Now let's take a look at the 2000 Mets bullpen, and this is where you are going to start to run into some issues. First, I'm going to show you Armando Benitez. Now, Benitez has outstanding numbers when it comes to getting on base, but you can see he has a big issue keeping the ball in the ballpark when he faces right-handed hitters. And you're going to see that this issue kind of repeats when I show you the rest of the bullpen. I'm going to show you the 2 lefties and the 2 righties all together. Franco Cook from the left side, Turk Wendell, and Rick White from right side. Um, and again, a lot like what you get out of Armando Benitez, all of these on base chance numbers are looking really good. It's just they have trouble keeping a ball in the ballpark. What I would do with Rick White, for example, is I would use him as a specialist, a right-handed pitcher who could come in and get right-handed hitters out. You see, he has excellent numbers when it comes to allowing base runners, and he does keep the ball in the park when he faces righties. Um, Same thing with John Franco. I would use him as a lefty specialist, bring him in to get left-handed hitters out. Um, Not much of a use really for Cook. His on base chance numbers are not that bad, but his ballpark effect home runs is just too much. This is not a card that I would use if you're looking to hold a lead in the late innings. So overall, I gave the bullpen a score of a 3 out of 5 because I think it's just a little bit above average. Again, the numbers when it comes to putting people on base is not bad as you look at this bullpen as a whole. It's just the ballpark effect home runs and the power on these pitchers cards that I just really can't wrap my head around. So you do have a little bit of an issue when you play with the 2000 Mets when it comes to closing games. So if we're to look at the 2000 Mets as a whole, you're going to see I have them grading out with still a very good score of a 3.8 out of 5. Obviously, what drove down the score for the 2000 Mets is really two things. I just spoke on the issues in the bullpen, and the offense would have graded out just a little bit higher if they had like another really good lefty bat in the lineup. I think the offense could have scored, comfortably above a 4 if they had another lefty bat. Um, what I do like about the 2000 Mets, obviously, I spoke on this earlier. You're looking really good with your 1-2 punch of Al Leiter and Mike Hampton in the starting rotation. If you're doing tournament play, you're looking really good with those two as your top two starters. And as I spoke on before, I would definitely use Glendon Rush as your number 3 starter. One thing you could do if you want to, if you are playing with the designated hitter, let me take a minute here and show you what you get out of Todd Pratt. Obviously, he's your backup catcher. And you can see he's a zero arm behind the plate. So if you want to use Pratt behind the plate and DH Piazza, you could always go ahead and do that. And you can see you get really nice offensive production out of Todd Pratt. So you could do that and obviously hope that he doesn't get hurt so that you lose your DH. But anyway, that's what I got for you for the 2000 New York Mets. They grade out with a good score of a 3.8 out of 5. Once again, I thank you all for watching. It is greatly appreciated. My next video, I'm going to do a review on the 2002 San Francisco Giants. If anyone caught the videos that I did on my 2000 Diamond Gems tournament that I played, you may remember how much I was raving about the 2002 San Francisco Giants. And as I was going through the teams, I realized, oh, I never actually did a review on them. So I'm going to do them next, as well as the fact I am still working on building my Sweet 16 list for the 1984 Strat-O-Matic set. So I'm going to try to get back into the groove here and rhythm of getting some videos done with team analysis and other videos. So that's what I have for you for the 2000 Mets. Once again, I thank you all for watching. It is greatly appreciated, and I'll talk to you all down the road.